Hi everybody, it is week 8, so we're going to find week 8 on Classroom. You're going to see the video, you're going to see where you turn in your library book activity like you always do, and then you're also going to see your playlist. We're going to click on that. This playlist looks super lengthy, but it's not. There are a lot of things that we ask you to do during this week, but really some of them take like 1 minute to do or not even a minute to do. So I'll explain when we get into it a little bit more, but just so you know, if you look at this and you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff to do, just don't worry about it. Just break it down a little bit and you'll be fine. So starting with what you have to do every week, your mandatory assignments are to pass an iReady lesson or get your 40 minutes of time on task like always. You need to read 20 minutes and you also need to read do the activity that's with your reading. Your first skill that you're going to work on this week would be to show mastery, or like the skill, what you're hoping to accomplish is show mastery in our morpheme set number 1, which would be anti, ab, seed, fract, frag, us, es, ick, and eyes. Yeah, I did a great job of listing this off for you guys, but that's your morpheme set number 1. So because it's our set number 1, you're going to add notebook pages into your notebook. That's going to allow you to track those and take notes on every morpheme set. You're going to also, or what's also below with the morpheme set is this lovely little slides presentation that actually gives you some of the information that you would need to know for each of the morphemes. So that's kind of to help you out, and so that when you're in your notebook, you already have like the morpheme because we've given it to you, and you'll have the definition. And then this video was created, it's super short. If you are like, I don't know, or I don't remember how to add notebook pages into my notebook, or if you're like, wait, how do I navigate this slide presentation, then that video right there goes through it with you. If you figure it out and you don't need to watch this video, then don't. Just check it off your list. You didn't need to do it. And then the last thing for the morpheme set number 1 would be to review or to go over and really practice with what those morphemes mean. And this is a quizzes actually. So when you click on it, it's going to take you here. I already started it. But it's going to ask you to put your name, which I do want you to put your first and last name so that so I know who did what. And I can also give you credit for doing it. And then that's basically it for morpheme set number 1, what you're going to be doing. And you'll do this for every single set. It'll be really easy. You'll record your notes on the morphemes, and then you'll study the morphemes, and then you will take a performance assessment on every set. And that is the performance assessment for this week, actually. And so you can click right here, and it will take you to a quiz that will test you on that set. So you can study as many times as you need to feel comfortable. If you study and you go through it once and you're like, oh, I know these, I did really well on my review, then go ahead and take the performance assessment. If you go through it 2, 3, 4, 5 times and you're like, I just need to keep practicing because it's not clicking with me right now, then do that. I don't want you to feel like with the studying that you have to do it quickly. If you need to study more, I want you to take that initiative and know yourself enough to be like, you know what, I'm going to study more and I'm going to take that time and really work at this. So when I take the performance assessment, I already know I'm going to do well because I did that much studying and that much prep, and I feel comfortable to take the performance assessment. Okay? So that's the first skill that you're going to need to work on, would be those morphemes and knowing those morphemes and how to apply them. The second skill, or the second thing that you're going to be working on this week, would actually be kind of an introduction to our argumentative writing unit. So it's not necessarily a skill, but it is, with all of these that are linked below, they're things that you go through to kind of figure out like what we're doing and how to do it. So when you start the next playlist and the next week, you're like, oh, I know what I'm doing. So I'm just going to go through this with you really quickly. So first off, there is a video, the first thing that you need to watch that I put as number one, and it goes through basically how we are going to be doing what I call a mystery clue game, to introduce argumentative writing. The next thing then, after you've watched this video and you kind of figured it out, would be to be a detective and actually like click on this, and you will go through and you will find clues throughout this like slide presentation that will go hand in hand with your notes. So make sure you read through and you actually like do everything that you're asked to do, because it does ask you to take notes during this time, because you're basically collecting clues and collecting evidence that will help you later on.
Attention please, I need Mr. Burkhardt to call the office.
And so if you then go, after you're done with the scavenger hunt, then you're going to read the background information. So then it's kind of like, what is this mystery clue game? Like, what do we need to know before we even start it? What is going on? What's the mystery? So you're going to read that. There's also audio link there if you need that. Then you're going to watch this awesome intro video that was created by Mr. Brohart, if you know who that is, and it outlines all of the suspects in the mystery. So it's kind of funny. But again, these things, like the background, if you listen to the audio, it's like 2 minutes. If you watch this video, it's 30 seconds. So they're very short. They don't have to take a long time. And so even though it looks like there's a lot here, it shouldn't take you a long time to check these ones off. And then last but not least, the last thing that I ask you guys to do this week, or we ask you to do this week, is to do this quick argumentative writing vocabulary check. And basically what you did for the scavenger hunt, you then get to like take a mini like just like a knowledge check, honestly, to show us that you got the terms and that you got all of them. You can use your notes on this, but it's just a quick check-in with us to make sure that we know that you got those notes, okay? We've already gone over the performance assessment, which I will say, even though it's down towards the bottom, the performance assessment, you can do that after you study. So you don't have to go through all of this then and then try to take the performance assessment. If you study and want to take the test, let me know. And so that I know you're taking a test or taking a performance assessment, knowledge check, whatever you want to call it. And then you can do that. So if you're like, okay, I just studied this, I know them, they're fresh in my brain, don't then go do something else. Take the test and do well on it. No tricks here. I want you guys to do well. And then the last thing that's on the playlist 8, it would be the enrichment activities. So if you're in honors, or if we're on week 8 and you're a little bit ahead, before you move on to week 9, I need you to do these activities. And so the first one is the ed puzzle, fact versus opinion. So you're just going to click on it, you're going to go to it, and you're going to watch the video and answer the questions. It's pretty funny, actually. And then the second thing is another vocab enrichment activity, but basically it's showing us or taking you guys just a step further. So the performance assessment tests you guys on like your comprehension. So yes, I can recall the morphemes, like I know the definitions to the morphemes and I know how to apply them. This enrichment activity shows us that you can go just a little bit further than that, and you can play with the morphemes and do certain things with them that shows us that you really have a good mastery of them. So both of these actually cannot hurt if you guys are going to get to that point and do them. Now, if you are behind, the enrichment activities, I just want you guys to know, are not mandatory unless you're in honors. So just beware of that. If you guys have any questions over anything on playlist 8, please let me know or let one of the adults know, and we will be sure to help you out.